I have words for us today, channeling words, but I like to talk about being a human, and here, spirituality and sciences, though with Daniel Siegel, Mindset Institute, as I learn about beautiful, beautiful headway for the people who are smart, and that means compassionate. And so let me be the human translator for a moment as I learned about the healing journey, and I'm still finishing it up, of a person who had dissociative identity disorder due to disorganized attachment. Actually, not everybody with disorganized attachment has DID. She got lucky, as she points out, because in her situation, and in any person who gets a therapist like Daniel Siegel, they will know that the embodied brain of you and ours protects us. And in this case, her parts got to stay separate and organized and have her be able to exist in a home that was not safe. And with good therapy, she healed. And as she's pointed out, I forget her name, so sorry, I haven't remembered it, but she shares how she's not broken. Nobody should feel broken, and that's because the wisdom of a person who becomes their whole self, because their first 3 years of life, all of our first 3 years of life, are implicit memory. So for me, my heart is a very joyous, open, spontaneous one. It was never broken. And so I didn't lose touch with the restored embodied self, with this field of consciousness that the 4D plane keeps talking about only in terms of frequency and stories. And so let me bring in, I'm not bringing in the 4D plane, by the way. I will be the human translator ongoingly. I'm a 5D mystic, so I get to support the ones who want to move on into the 5D plane and get enlightenment the human way. So wait, spirituality, Sadhguru, and again, this is a very beautiful, for those who are here. I have no words. I'm speechless right now. I'm channeling for some reason, and I don't know how to present. No, I do know. I'm going to keep going. When I took Shambhavi Kriya with Sadhguru, I had to first take inner engineering. I loved every moment of it. I got to learn things I already knew about, and I know how to equate the human stuff to everything I learned within the inner engineering program, including the whole responding thing, which I was humored by a human being who was in the audience who said, he raised his hand, I love school, me, Maria, I love learning, because you get to ask questions. And no question is a stupid question. So obviously this man is not a stupid question. However, I observed, as participating virtually to the class, this human being say, but wait a minute, I didn't have the lady fall down. I don't have to respond. As Sadhguru is trying to explain the difference between reacting and responding, but see, he's not educated in the mind and the brain and the relationship the way I am. I'm a person again. So I like to help people with personal development. I forgot to mention that. Oh yeah, and if you believe in the devil in a way of the ancients, please go somewhere else. The 4D readers are out there talking to you about spiritual warfare. Not 5D plane. It's a whole mind's eye thing. We got it down track because imagination is in here, not out there. Okay, so long story short, this human being who was older than I am, I'm 43, I'm pretty sure they had to be 50. That's what their voice sounded like. Then again, maybe I'm wrong. As they address again, once Sadhguru explains to him what he's trying to say, but it's philosophical, so poor dude, I get it. He doesn't really know what Sadhguru is asking of him. I understood from a psych-educational perspective as well as just as a person who's hearing, which was if you can respond and help somebody come up from the ground, you're going to go do it. But you're not going to be reactive. So reactive is when your brain is in alert. And so here, Stephen Porges, come on over. Biological rudeness, it's called the yellow or red because you're being reactive. Let me go back to Daniel Siegel, and it's his hand model. And this means that there's a nervous system that's already in defense mode. So when you have defense mode, you don't have to have big trauma. Some call it big trauma. So from abuse, neglect, from home. But you might have attachment wounds. This is why it's a very in-depth topic. Attachment system, number one, though, is very important because if your attachment category is not securely attached, then you're going to have a disconnect potentially and more. And I won't use these words right now because there's 3 different types of those attachment categories, not styles, categories. They're not fixed. You can work to get out of the not secure attachment categories, and there's 2 of them, and then we have disorganized, which is separate because disorganized actually has a paradox inside of their own human being body. Their nervous system is defending, actually, moving away, but their attachment system wants to attach, because we all will want to. Our body knows that that's my lifeline, the caregiver, my primary caregiver. So the emotional body shuts down and the seat of empathy shuts down the minute in my first year of life I don't get a consistent contingent communication. So I can develop non-secure attachment. Okay, so I'm not going to do all of the teaching on that note. I want to get to the Sadhguru part. So reacting, I see a lot of people reacting like this human being who didn't know what Sadhguru was saying, which I could understand because, again, philosophy doesn't speak to the brain of a person who's not using their integrated brain, because they don't know how to handle their emotions and to allow themselves to sit in silence as another human being is talking to them. But really, it's also because that human being refused to go and help some lady who had fallen because it wasn't his fault that she fell. Not to mention, he's not even paying attention to the fact that he doesn't understand the difference between responding and reacting. I should not laugh. I'm so sorry. This is the moment of, I will leave this one because, see, I think of smarts as you know about your mental and emotional smarts. Otherwise, please don't talk to me, a human being here who's the dumbest human being on the face of this planet. Ask me to regurgitate to you something. I will not remember a date. I will not remember a lot of things, but one thing I do know is how to handle myself, and not ideally, by the way. I'm woo-woo lady, remember? So this is where when people have quote-unquote teased me because I am a mystic, I'm okay with that. I probably don't even notice. In fact, there's a conversation that happened where I had no idea what was going on, except for now I know that there's a lady who's scared of me. And I'm like, wow. And I learned that my friends gossiped about it. And I'm like, wow. And they even told me about it. And I'm thinking, wow, nobody had the decency to let me in on what we were talking about because I was totally on a different plane. Oh, yes. So let's remember that subjective experiences, smart people can figure it out, but not if people are not trying to help you understand where they're going. So putting all that to the side, let me get back to Sadhguru. As he, in Shambhavi Kriya, where I just started crying out of the compassion of my heart, talks about us and asks us to unconditionally love one person like a mother. So mother or a caregiver, it doesn't have to be a mother, a person, a human being who's an integrated brain and a restorative embodied space, self, who's able to self-regulate. So why am I using these 2? Because when asked, the lady who had DID, who's healed and whole again, she did 7 years, I believe it was, to get all of those parts and in her peripheral view to be able to handle them. Then she did a certain number more years of therapy. And now she's an adult with all of her parts, like I am. And so she's securely attached, functional adult, and she's a therapist. And she is writing a book now so that she can say, hey, DID is real. It's not fake, although some therapists don't believe in it. And those subject matter experts, they are really not nice at all when they do what they do. But let's leave that alone. She gets asked, what did Dr. Daniel Siegel do that was so special that healed you, or something like that? And she says, he gave me a safe space. And see, any good therapist will tell you what a safe space means. So let me bring in Sadhguru as he tells and asks every one of the people in that community that was taking his course to promise to unconditionally love. And then let's go to the 4D mystics who keep talking to you about space. Anytime there's some ascension, they don't even know how to do the space thing. So I'm going to tell you how to do the space thing. It's called, I am a subjective human being who has thoughts and feelings, and I don't judge you. In my heart, I don't cast a stone. I remember you're a 3-year-old like I'm a 3-year-old, and I treat you with love and respect. It's called secure attachment. It's very straightforward if you get your ventral vagal into the peripheral view. A lot of people don't know what that is. They can do all the yoga they want. As long as you're not treating people with compassion or love, you don't know yet. Enlightenment the human way, it's because of people who have compassion, because they remember we don't walk in any person's shoes. So Sadhguru has people promising to unconditionally love like a mother. I wondered how many are going to understand and do this after seeing people in his course, for example, not knowing what he's talking about. But we have the mental health professionals, the good ones who are helping. So the 2 come together, sciences, spirituality, and lo and behold, enlightenment the human way and infinite higher human consciousness potential. Tune in for more. Have a great day.